Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the CINCILINGUA membership program and welcome to this live class. It's great to have all of you with me. It is always great to have you with me for the live classes. It's great to have you here just as members of our CINCILINGUA membership program. We very much appreciate you being members, and I appreciate you being with me for participating in our live classes. So, yeah, welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Todd, and I am here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so this lesson that we are going to participate in together today, this lesson will include a review of prepositions of time. This is a review of prepositions of time. And during this class, we're also going to practice some of these prepositions of time with some discussion questions. Okay, so that's the plan. I just want to say, I say this every time that I teach prepositions. I introduce them very, very briefly, and I just say that, hey, we receive a lot of questions and actually complaints about our prepositions, because in English we have a lot of prepositions, and they pose or present some difficulties for students of English for a number of reasons. But one reason is simply just because we do have a lot of them, but also because our prepositions, all of them, can be used in many different ways. Okay, so that presents some challenges, but be patient and, just learn how to use them and apply them gradually. And be patient. Don't get overly frustrated. And by all means, allow us to help you through the process. And so this is what we're going to do here today. Okay, we're going to look at prepositions, some prepositions as they relate to time. And again, understand that these prepositions that we're going to look at may be used in different ways. Okay, but we're going to relate them to time. All right, so I'm ready to get started here. Let's do it. Okay, prepositions. We all love them. Okay, so the first preposition we're going to look at here is preposition in. Very common preposition. And this is used, the word in can be used in reference to a period of time. So, for example, in April in 2020. Okay, now when in is used in this way, it's like a broad, wide period of time. Okay, so in the month of April in 2020. So I could say, for example, Christmas is a holiday in the winter. In the winter being a broad, wide area of time. Okay, so in plus a period of time. Easter is in the spring of the year. Okay. Now on, another very common preposition. On is used for a specific date or a specific day. So on Wednesday, on December 25th. So Christmas is in the winter. Christmas is in December, but Christmas is on December 25th. Christmas is on December 25th. That's a specific date. Okay. Thanksgiving in the United States is always on a Thursday, a specific day. At is used for a specific time or a specific hour. So at noon, at 12 p.m., or at 3 a.m. So our class today started at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Our class started at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. All right. Our class will finish at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay, now we're coming back to this preposition in, but we're going to use it a little bit differently here. In plus a period of time is going to refer to a time in the future. So, for example, in a few weeks, in a year. So I could say, we will continue this. We will end this class in 30 minutes. Okay, this class will end in 30 minutes. Okay, I'll see you in a couple of days. In a couple of days. Right? I'm talking about the future there, right? Okay. Around, now around, I could use a synonym here. I could use about, around, or about. Both of these are used to mean approximately. So around August 26th, around 4:30 p.m., this class will finish around 10:30 a.m. It may not be precisely at 10:30 a.m., but it's going to be around that time. It may be 10:35. It may be 10:25. It's going to be around that time. Okay. Or about that time. Okay. And then by, in our context, it means not later than or before. So by Thursday, by May 31st, by 5 o'clock. So this class will end by 10:40, before 10:40. Okay, this class will end by 10:40. The report is due by the end of the day, before the end of the day, or not later than the end of the day. Okay, all right. Moving you on to our promised discussion questions. Question number 1. What do you usually do on your birthday? What on the specific day, right? What do you usually do on your birthday? Well, for me, what do I usually do on my birthday? Well, usually I don't do anything I don't do anything special on my birthday unless my birthday falls on Thanksgiving, because some years my birthday does fall on Thanksgiving. And on those days, or on those in those years, I celebrate my birthday and Thanksgiving. But in other years, when my birthday does not fall on Thanksgiving, I don't do anything special. Really, it's just another day for me. But hey, what about you? What do you do on your birthday? What do you do on your birthday? Number 2, which day of the week do you celebrate Thanksgiving. Which day of the week do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, here in the United States, we celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday. We celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday in November, And yeah, and as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I think Thanksgiving is a holiday that is a United States holiday. I don't think other countries celebrate Thanksgiving. But here it is celebrated on a Thursday in November. Number 3, what year was the best year of your life thus far? Thus far, I could say so far or thus far. These are idioms. And what they mean is to this point in time, So what year was the best year of your life to this point in time? So far or thus far. Yeah, this is a difficult question. This is a difficult question for me to answer. But I graduated in 1986. I graduated from high school in 1986. And yeah, so I just gave you my age, right? Or you know my approximate age now. So I graduated in 1986, and I have to say that was the best year of my life thus far, so far, or at least one of the best years of my life, because that was just a time with a lot of social activities and a lot of excitement about, getting out of high school and things like that, parties and again, social life, music. I remember, at this time I was involved with music and things like this. So it was really a great year. But hey, what about you? What was the best year of your life thus far, so far? Number 4, where did you live in 2000? In 2000. Me, I lived in Cincinnati in the year 2000. I have lived in Cincinnati for all of my life now. So, but I lived in the same approximate neighborhood that I live in currently. So yeah, but where did you live in the year 2000? Where did you live in the year 2000, and what were you doing during that time? Number 5, what is your favorite day of the week, and what do you do on that day? Well, for me, my favorite day of the week is Saturday. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. On Saturdays, I watch boxing. On Saturdays, I watch boxing and or martial arts, and I read a lot on Saturdays. But yeah, so boxing and martial arts, I love boxing. I've been a boxing fan for all of my life, as far back as I can remember. And so I watch boxing on Saturdays, and I also read on Saturdays. Usually I have one eye watching boxing, and I have the other eye in my book or in my tablet or on my tablet. But what about you? What is your favorite day of the week, and what do you do on that day? Number 6. When do you think factories will switch over? Switch over means change. Okay, switch over. Will switch over to a complete robot workforce. When do you think factories will switch over to a complete robot workforce? Yeah, well, you're asking me. Okay, that's not, well, really, I don't think workplaces or factories will ever switch over to a complete robot workforce, but already, as I'm sure most of you know, many factories have really, really heavily implemented the robot workforce, and this has been going on for some time now. So I still think factories will require some human beings in the facilities to oversee and to manage what the robots are doing, and to do the necessary maintenance and things like that. But yeah, so I guess I just don't see a complete switch over, but I will say around or about the year 2040, factories will be predominantly run by robots. What about you? What do you think about that? What do you all think? Number 7, when does spring begin? When does spring begin? Spring begins in late March. Spring begins in late March. It begins around about March 21st. This year it was a day earlier. I think the first day of spring was March 20th. It began maybe March 19th, late in the day, or around 11 o'clock Eastern time, I believe. But normally the spring begins around March 21st, in March. So we are now in the spring season. What is the next holiday and when is it? Well, the next holiday is Easter, and Easter is this coming Sunday. And this coming Sunday, I think it's the last day of March. Easter is early this year. Easter is more normally or in the month of April, but this year I believe it is actually on the last day of March. And so yeah, that's our next holiday. So Easter is in March or in April. It is normally in April, but this year it's maybe a little early. It's occurring in March. When will you travel and where will you go? Huh. Well, I'm not sure, but if I do travel, I will travel in July. In July. Where will I go? I will probably go to Florida. If I travel, that's where I usually go, is Florida, because I like Florida. I like the hot weather. I like the humidity, and I like the water, the beach. And so if I travel, which is not very often actually, but if I If I travel this year, it will be probably in July, maybe August, and I will go to Orlando, probably Orlando. But what about you? When will you travel next, and where will you go? And number 10, when will this live class end? When will this live class end? Well, this live class will end in 15 minutes or in 10 minutes. This live class will end in 10 minutes. It's a time in the future, in plus a period of time. Or I could say this class will end around 10:30, about 10:30, approximately 10:30. All right, you guys are great here. Okay. Yeah, so quick review here, prepositions of time, quick review. So we talked about in plus a period of time. This is like a general broad area of time in March, in April, in May. Mother's Day is in May. Labor Day in the United States is in September. On is used for a specific date or a specific day. So I could say, for example, Valentine's Day is on February 14th. Valentine's Day is in February. Valentine's Day is on February 14th. At a specific time or hour, I will go to lunch 12 p.m. I will go to lunch at noon. In plus a period of time indicates a time in the future. I will see you in a few weeks, or I will see you again in a couple of days, for example. I will call you in 15 minutes. Good. Around or about means approximately. So this class will end in approximately 10 minutes or in around 10 minutes. This class will end around about 10:30. Good. And by means not later than or before. Okay, the report is due by the end of the day. The report is due by next Wednesday. Not later than, before. All right. Okay, now prepositions of time. Quick review of these. For, and we have, this is used to show duration. So for 12 years, for 5 days, for 20 minutes. This class will continue for another 10 minutes. Okay. He has lived in Cincinnati for 15 years. That's the duration of time. This preposition is commonly used with the present perfect tense or the present perfect continuous tense. Since is used to indicate a beginning time in the past. So I have lived in Cincinnati since 1967. Right? That's the time I began living in Cincinnati. I have lived in Cincinnati since 1967. Until up to the time of, so this class will continue until 10:30 a.m. This class will continue until 10:30 a.m. up to the time of, and then it will end. So until indicates a limitation on the time. During, we follow during with a noun. During, the idea is like at the time of, and then that's followed by a noun. So during the blizzard, during the movie, and say Christmas is a holiday during the winter, for example. Okay, Christmas occurs during the winter. During, and then the winter being a noun. And then while has this idea or conveys this idea of simultaneous action or at the same time as, and it's followed by a subject. Subject could be a noun. It could also be a pronoun. And then there's a verb that follows that. So while they drove, while she slept. So he listened to the radio while he drove at the same time. So at the same time that he listened to the radio, he drove. The same time he drove, he listened to the radio. Right? So it's subject and then the verb. While he drove. He, subject, drove, verb. All right. I don't know if we'll get to all of these questions here, but I want to get to maybe a couple of them. Number one, what other activities do, excuse me, let me try that again. What other activities do you do while you watch TV? What other activities do you do while you watch TV? Well, me, I often read while I watch TV. So I have one eye on the TV. I have the other eye in a book or on my tablet. Okay, while, and then subject you, right? And then watch is our verb. How long have you worked in your current position at work? How long have you worked in your current position at work? Okay, well, I have worked. Okay, notice that's a present perfect tense. I have worked in my current position for 13 years. I have worked in my current position for 13 years. For indicating the duration of time. For and 13 years being the duration of time. What is your favorite type of music, and how long have you liked that type of music? Well, my favorite type of music, that is difficult to answer because I really like a lot of different types of music. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in, I guess. But I will say, okay, my favorite type of music is rock music. And I have liked rock music for, I don't, we'll say 40 years. I have liked rock music since I was a teenager. Since, and then I was a teenager, indicating the time that I began liking rock music. Again, I'm using a present perfect tense here. What is your favorite sport, and how long have you been a fan? Well, me, my favorite sport is boxing, and I have been a fan since I was a child. I have been a fan for 50 years. I have been a boxing fan for 50 years. I have been a boxing fan since I was a child. What about you? What is your favorite sport? Number 5, how late do you usually stay up? How late do you usually stay up? I usually stay up until it gets dark. It depends, because I wake up very early in the morning, and so I don't stay up very late, but I stay up until it gets dark. Okay, how about that? What about you? How late do you usually stay up? And number 6, how many years have you worked at your company? How many years have you worked at your company? Okay, I have worked at my company or at CINCILINGUA for 13 years. And then the duration, 13 years. I have worked at my company for 13 years or since 2011, 2011 being the beginning time, the time that I began working at my company, or not my company, but CINCILINGUA. I'll say it like that. It's not my company. But what about you? How many years have you worked at your company? All right, you guys are great. Yeah, and I want to thank you all for attending this CINCILINGUA membership live class. Like I said at the beginning, it's always great to have you guys with me for the live classes, participating, and really it just is great to have you all as members of our program. And I want to encourage all of you to make use of your membership. Take advantage of everything that you have available to you. Make sure that you check out our library. We are regularly adding more and more content to that library. So check out some of those videos. We also have audiobooks for your listening enjoyment and for your practice of listening comprehension skills. We have regular books for you to read. Great way to increase your vocabulary. And we have games, Kahoots. We have Kahoots for you all to play as you continue to learn and progress in your knowledge of the English language. So again, my name is Todd. I'm here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I thank you again for your attendance. I thank you again for your attention, and I will be looking forward to seeing you all next time. And on that, I wish you a wonderful remainder of your day. Bye-bye.